In just a few short seconds, the ground began to tremble. Skyscrapers, structures that had stood firm for decades, started swaying as if they were made of paper. Emergency alarms echoed across the city, each sound cutting through the tense, heavy air. Even the people of Japan, who experience earthquakes more often than almost anyone else, were shaken this time. The most recent earthquake wasn't just another minor tremor. It was strong, unexpected, and it sparked a wave of pressing questions. What triggered it? Why does Japan face so many powerful earthquakes? And are we getting close to another Megathrust event? On that day, security cameras across major cities captured the moment the Earth moved. Cars stopped abruptly. Traffic lights swung wildly. People ran for cover while the Shinkansen bullet trains activated emergency braking. For much of the world, the footage was shocking. But for Japan, it was a reminder of a constant reality. This nation sits on one of the most dangerous places on Earth, the Pacific Ring of Fire. Today, we're diving deep into that story. Where does Japan sit on the world's earthquake map? Japan is located at the collision point of four major tectonic plates: the Pacific Plate, the Philippine Sea Plate, the North American Plate, the Eurasian Plate. Very few places on Earth experience this level of crushing, pulling, and sliding forces all at once. This makes Japan one of the most active seismic zones on the planet. Every year, the country records around 1,500 earthquakes, ranging from tiny, barely noticeable tremors to strong shakes felt across entire cities. These quakes happen because the tectonic plates beneath Japan are constantly shifting. The Pacific Plate, one of the largest and most powerful plates on Earth, is currently subducting beneath the North American Plate at about 9-10 centimeters per year. 10 centimeters may seem small, but over decades or centuries, the pressure builds up until it releases all at once. And when it does, the result is a massive, violent earthquake. Japan knows this. Japan has studied this, and Japan has built an entire system. Scientific, architectural, and cultural around surviving these disasters. Still, no amount of preparation can fully shield anyone from the raw force of nature. Japan has lived through multiple historic earthquakes, events so powerful that they reshape the nation's architecture, infrastructure, and approach to disaster response. The Great Kanto Earthquake of 1923. Nearly 140,000 people lost their lives. Tokyo was devastated, much of it consumed by fires that broke out after the quake. The 1995 Hanshin, Kobe earthquake. 6,434 people were killed. The collapse of highways and buildings forced Japan to reevaluate its entire building code. The 2011 Great East Japan Earthquake, Tohoku. Magnitude 9.0. One of the strongest ever recorded in human history. A tsunami up to 40 meters high followed. And then, the Fukushima nuclear disaster. It was a triple catastrophe that changed global discussions about nuclear energy forever. Every time Japan faces such a disaster, the country learns, not because it wants to, but because it must in order to survive. But history also raises a chilling question. When is the next big one coming? Japanese scientists warn that the Nankai Trough, where the Philippine Sea Plate subducts beneath Japan, is capable of producing a magnitude 8 to 9 megathrust earthquake within the next 30 years. They call it the Nankai Megathrust earthquake. If it hits, it could become the most destructive earthquake Japan has ever seen. What truly impresses the world isn't the fact that Japan has earthquakes. It's how Japan survives them. Japanese high-rise buildings are engineered with external base isolation systems, massive dampers, and even giant steel bearings that let buildings glide with seismic waves instead of resisting them. Japan was the first country to build a nationwide earthquake warning network. It can alert citizens 5 to 30 seconds before destructive shaking begins. 30 seconds may seem small, but it's enough to stop bullet trains, shut down factories, warn people to take shelter, prevent deadly accidents. Japanese students practice earthquake drills regularly. They learn how to take cover, evacuate properly, and protect themselves. Japan doesn't only build earthquake-proof buildings, it builds earthquake-resistant bridges, shock-absorbing Shinkansen rails, tsunami barriers, and one of the largest underwater sensor networks in the world. Japan cannot stop earthquakes, but it can, and does, minimize their impact better than almost any other nation. When the ground finally stops shaking and the dust settles, Japan does something extraordinary. It doesn't collapse into fear. It doesn't freeze in shock. It stands up. Quietly, steadily, and with a kind of discipline the world can't help but admire. Earthquakes may shape the land, but the people shape the future. Japan has shown us that resilience is not accidental. It's built. It's learned. It's passed from one generation to the next through preparation, technology, community, and an unwavering belief that tomorrow must always be safer than today. And maybe that's the real lesson hidden beneath the shifting plates. We cannot control the forces of nature, but we can control how we respond to them. So the next time the earth trembles, whether in Japan or anywhere else in the world, we will remember this story. A story not just about earthquakes, but about human strength, human science, and human spirit. Because in the end, the world works not because nature is gentle, but because humanity refuses to give up.